I was reading one of the reviews the other day, and lady, we've been getting some really good ones, by the way.
Oh, everyone's responded to our promotion.
To our call out for because it helps us do whatever we do. I don't know. And she said she enjoys listening to us while she's eating dinner.
Eating dinner? Yeah, a girl told me the other night, because I'm doing the comedy festival. I still am. You can still come.
Oh, you're still doing it?
Yeah, 6 more nights in Melbourne.
You look well because you're doing that, and you've been doing breakfast radio here in Melbourne. ABC,
give
good for you.
Give us a call, 1300 222 774.
It was coming out easy when I heard you. I reckon they'll be putting their dibs on you down the line.
I don't know, but I don't really want to do it. Anyway, it's too much work. But also you got to do serious things too.
Oh, I know.
Like, imagine being on radio with the current events, with that awful thing that happened in Sydney.
Yeah, I know.
They would have interview after interview lined up. And I'm a comedian. I was on air when Christchurch earthquake happened, and it was awful. And they talk to you in your ear. You got a little earpiece, and they're like, read out the death toll. I'm like, okay, the death toll in Christchurch is 100. I was going up to 103. No, it's 104. And this guy's like, this isn't a joke, Dave. The people are texting in. This is not a joke. You're reading the death toll like a countdown. I'm like, but because I've been doing comedy for so long, it does often sound like I'm joking.
It does. But I heard you do some big interviews, and you handle this stuff really well because you're a man of the world. You're a man of the world. You're a very good conversationalist. Being funny is a bonus, I reckon, because you're smart. It's not like you're a dumb comedian. You're a smart comedian.
Oh, yeah.
So therefore, you play that funny instrument when it's needed, and you know when to hide it away a little bit. I
did have some highlights. A man said, apologise for the use of this word, but this is a listener, an old guy. He goes, Did you say you grew up in Mitcham? I said, yes, I did, Philip. He goes, did you know the McCovens? I'm like, they lived in Nutbury. I went, no, I think so. And he goes, well, you'd remember them. The second boy was retarded. Oh. I'm just like, yeah.
So you
can't say that anymore.
You can't say it, yeah.
But
you can't. You don't have a dump button.
Well, I don't know where it is. We don't have a dump button on this podcast.
No,
that's what Pill said. You hit I don't know where the dump button is. I suppose the producers can hit it.
At 3AW, there's a thing that there's a blue button, a red button, a on-air red button, yellow button is the dump, I think.
Yeah.
Do a dump.
Do they use it very often, though? Or?
No, I've never been on air with it. No, because
we used it once on Nova or Vega. I can't remember. Someone started talking about Nazis or something.
Yeah.
Something weird.
Hey,
what were we talking about?
Well, nothing really. I was just saying she likes to listen while eating her dinner. And I was just reminiscing.
This girl said she falls asleep to us. That's right. Hello to the woman I met who falls asleep to us.
Your eyes are getting heavy. Just think of beautiful clouds. Oh, hang on. Something's happened outside the window. Hang on.
There's someone at the window. There's someone at the door.
Smell? Oh, it's your husband. He stinks. And I was reminiscing about what you were allowed to do as a kid when you have dinner.
Yeah.
Because we were a kitchen table eating.
We were too.
Kitchen table.
Yeah.
Now, does that? You're good at this.
Must be 70s.
Is that blue collar?
That's blue collar. Well, I think the new blue collar was eating in front of the TV, but we still. It was like the dining room table in the kitchen. There was a bench in between us and it was in the one room. But it was kind of a small room.
Yeah, but we had the Laminex one, the classic one.
Yeah, we had that.
That are in cool milk bars now.
Yeah. Nana's table.
Yeah. That was then, and then you have the lounge room. No, the dining room, sorry.
We didn't have a dining room. The lounge room was separate, completely separate, except there was a doorway into the dining room where the TV was. And Dad positions himself, as my brother pointed out once, in the only seat where you could see the TV.
Oh, yeah. But the elder always has the line to the TV, as I did on our dining table, because it's priority. You're the
But
chief.
you're right. I think it was that real suburban thing where you'd have the table right next to the kitchen. Well, made it easier for Mum. We've sort of got a similar setup at home now.
Did you have one of those doors that your mum could carry plates and then turn it back on, push through it, like a swinging door? Oh, I think we were ahead of our time.
You had one of them?
One of those swinging doors, like good restaurants have.
I know plenty of people that just sit and eat dinner with it.
So anyway, so that was then. And I would imagine there were other people who would eat at the dining table every night in the dining room.
In a dining room.
Yeah. We had a dining area, but we didn't ever eat at the... So, where do you have dinner with the kids now?
Yeah, it's still on the dining room table. There's no TV.
No, TV go... What if the TV's on? Does it go off?
Nah, the TV go off.
TV goes off.
Even music goes off. Radio goes off.
If you didn't have kids, what do you reckon you'd do?
Well, my sister-in-law sits with her partner and watches... There's no kids there. They watch TV. They watch the Channel 9 News.
Yeah, we do.
Do you watch the news or what do you watch?
I don't we don't sit down till a bit later. Maths, of course. It's finished now. Oh, God.
You Spicks and Specks you used to watch too.
You're exactly right. We go back to Spicks and Specks now because...
That's 7:30, I think.
7:30, and they used to play double episode, but now it's just singles anyway.
But, hey, big news.
Yep.
Inside word. They're going back to the old desk like you requested.
Well, I called it first.
You're the king. You know, your TV's Glenn Robbins.
I don't think any show gained from... We gained a lot of things from COVID, i.e...
Yeah, respiratory illnesses.
No, working from home.
Oh, you worked out who the dickheads were in your life.
Talking to you. Hey, settle down. Hey,
guys you went to high school with. You're like, oh, yeah, okay, all right, I get it.
Working from home. Talk to your doctor over the phone. Get a script over the phone. A lot easier.
Oh yeah, Zoom.
Yeah,
a lot of bad things.
So yes, I feel a bit guilty because we have dinner in front of the TV on the couch, which is always hard.
On the couch? Do you have a stable table?
Yes.
Yeah, you do. Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. But all I'll say is...
Do you have your own armchairs?
Yes.
Mar and Pars.
Yeah. The stable table, once you go there, boyfriend, you will not go back.
Yeah, we've got one. Kieran bought one for one of the kids, maybe for studying or something. I can't remember.
Yeah. But. Tea on knee, as my dad used to say. It's hard to negotiate.
No, it's not good.
I mean, you know, it's just you can't commit.
Do you find you're watching the TV and you drop things, though? Like you're dropping a bit of your food?
Yeah, I'm finding I drop things just regularly anyway at the moment as I get older.
Right.
But you've got to watch out because you don't want to drop it onto the... Because if you drop it on a dining table, you know, it's okay.
Have you got a stable table with a little cushiony kind of thing underneath?
Oh, yeah. Rolled gold.
Looks like it would get manky, that cushion, to me. Bit manky.
I did try to get it off the other day and didn't have much luck. So I've gone, whatever, buy a new one. That's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no recycling your stable table.
It's the way of the world. Anyway, give us a call, 13 25 10, or if you're at ABC, 1300 222 774 774. Tell us, where do you eat your dinner?
Or where do you listen to Somehow Related?
Yeah.
Because I admit the car's good. In bed is good, apparently.
Falling asleep. I think long commutes. On the train.
Yep.
On the train.
And for those who are making love as they hear this.
God, go harder.
I'm looking at your white ass going up and down and up.
Play the music. Quick.
Welcome to Somehow Related. Now please welcome your hosts Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
Anyway, welcome to our show, and it's show 300.
If I
think we need to have a bit of music. We need to have a bit of cheers and celebration. So we'll do it again. It's show. We'll say it together. It's show 300.
Happy 300 episodes.
Anyway, that's exciting.
We don't talk about that sort of stuff.
No, that's where it stops. But
300. Who would have thought when we started out? When we started back in the 60s?
Black and white. It's black and white radio.
Black and white radio.
We're on 3DB.
Yeah, we spoke a bit higher. Our voices were a bit higher. Welcome to Somehow Related, and by Jingo, it's a bloody good show.
Yes, and we spoke a bit like this. That's right, Glenn.
Oh, gee, who's on
today?
Bert Newton's on today with us.
Val Joy.
Yeah.
Izzy Dye. And Ernie Sigley.
We've got the Somehow Related wheel. We've got some beautiful Glow Weave shirt giveaway.
We had to do live reads for Omo and stuff like that.
Yeah. Anyway, we didn't put you through that.
Anyway.
What did we start about? I don't know.
7 years ago, mate.
Well, the good thing is we haven't missed many weeks.
No, we haven't. We're always available.
Yeah. It's sad, really. Yeah.
Haven't I been overseas in that time?
I think, I've been overseas a couple of times. And I don't know how we did it. It's magical the way we do it. If you've just tuned in to the 300, wow, you've waited 300 to come on board, have a darn good look at yourself.
Yeah, come on. You can always go back to the start, or some people do, or just pick and choose the ones you like.
I must admit, when you pick a random one, I pick a random one occasionally. Oh, by the way, I was on your program, the other one.
The Junkies, yeah. Somehow Related fans have never heard the podcast I do with Kitty Flanagan about snack food.
Yeah.
The Junkies. Glenn was on 2 episodes recently.
Back to back.
And you're a big biscuit. That's why, because you and Kitty are quite serious about biscuits. I'm not as much Into biscuits, I reckon.
I'm serious about everything.
No, but you love a biscuit.
I don't like to eat too many, so I don't go there unless I'm going to go to enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
I listened to the next episode last night. It made me laugh.
Oh, it's funny.
Very funny.
Yeah,
it's a very funny show. I mean, what a joy it was to be with you guys. I was at one end, and you were hitting the ball to me, and I just got to play a nice game of tennis and have some biscuits and talk about a passion. Yeah,
Kitty's house.
Good. Anyway, this is a different podcast. This is somehow related.
Yeah, this is a different
one. And if you're tuning in for the first time on the 300th, it is somehow 2 topics related.
Yeah, we got to work out how they are. Should we get our 2 topics on our special 300th anniversary show?
What do you do for 300? What else? Do you talk about 300? No. If I'd known it was 300, I would have done a list of, did you know that Tom Cruise has 300?
Who celebrated 300 games in the AFL the other day?
That's a lot of games.
I think Tom Hawkins, maybe? Maybe it's 350. Anyway, what are our topics? Here we go. Sam.
The topics are war and soccer.
Oh. What's that movie where there's a soccer game in the wall? They're prisoners of war playing soccer on a Greek or an Italian island.
It wasn't a prison camp? No.
Yeah, it might have been a prison camp. Yeah, they played soccer. And they escaped, and I can't remember. And it was more recent than, say, The Great Escape or The Dirty Dozen.
What are the big soccer movies? Bend It Like Beckham?
Oh, that's a great movie.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's great.
And Beckham's not in it.
It's a young Indian girl who wants to be a soccer player. It's great. We interviewed that director, who's an Indian-English woman, on the panel. You were probably on there with me, I reckon.
No, I don't think it was.
She was great, and that is a great movie. Well, what other soccer movies are there? There's one about hooligans.
I'm sure people are yelling at the podcast radio right now going, of course, there's that famous one. Well, you know the big one of late is Beckham on Netflix.
I haven't watched that.
I thought it was fantastic. Then someone said to me the other day, of course it was fantastic because they made it themselves.
Yeah, so they produced it.
They put all the good bits
They produced it.
No, they cut out all the bad bits because, he went to Spain.
Why did he go to Spain?
Because of Real Madrid.
Oh, he played for them?
Yeah.
They're huge.
I'm impressed that I remembered that. Away from wife and family, got up to no good.
A little bit similar like my friend Brooksy, from the Music Man who lives near you.
Plays soccer for Real Madrid.
No, he played it for Ringwood.
Play for Ringwood. Oh, you know who's big in soccer? Bob Franklin.
Yeah, he knows Brooksy. Because what happened with Brooksy in the 80s, him and all his mates, I assume a lot of people listening would remember the Music Men from Hey Hey at Saturday.
Yeah, we are the Music Men.
We come from down under. They were just all semi-professional soccer players who got paid to leave England and come and play for Ringwood, Dandenong.
Wow.
Yeah, but he got like $50 a week. But just so he could say to the people back home, I'm a pro in Australia.
Oh, right.
And then he had to do another job. They all gave them jobs too.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Jamone, they used to all play soccer together though.
I think Bob Franklin still plays. I mean, he's not young, but
if you look at the Socceroo team from the 70s, again, I interviewed them on the radio. The ones that got into the World Cup in like 76. I might have that wrong. They're all expats. They're all Scottish, Yugoslav.
Okay.
Because they're the ones who love soccer. Did you kids play soccer at your school?
A little bit, yeah. It sort of came in, We would play at lunchtime because it was just easy, and you could play with only a couple of people, or you could play it in a quadrangle. Whereas with AFL, it's full on. You need a bigger ground and you need to be able to tackle. Whereas soccer, you can play it on asphalt.
All the immigrant kids at my high school played it.
Yeah,
a lot of Vietnamese played it. Italians, Greeks, Yugoslavs. We also me and my Greek friends set up a weight room. Yeah, that's right.
A weight room?
Yeah, where we lift weights.
What did you do for lunch? Sit down in the weight room. And what did you lift?
Oh, the
filing
sports
cabinets?
teacher. No, they had like a bench press, and I didn't lift many weights. But those guys that are into it. We thought we'd meet girls. Here's a tip: you don't meet girls lifting weights.
But you might afterwards when your shirt falls open.
Buffed.
My shirt's falling open. Got a bit of a tan and a couple of pecs going on there.
I still remember it was like a storage shed under the gym, kind of. Like they turned into the weight room.
Hey, do mate. I'll see ya.
See mate.
Yeah.
Go, I'll spot you. I'll spot you.
Yeah.
I'll spot you.
Yeah.
How much you lifting there? Oh, yeah. I'll spot you.
It was one of the...
It's a whole culture,
isn't it? A sketch that I did was one of my favourites called Impersonal Trainer. It was on Something Stupid, I think. It was very popular because it was this personal trainer that never looked the girl in the eye as he trained with her.
Oh, that's funny.
And put her in very awkward and inappropriate positions and kept on going, talking to everyone. When are you up for the Nationals? Yeah. You won the States, did you? Yeah. You want me to spot you on that? What are you pulling there? And she's going, she had asthma halfway through the thing and he didn't notice it. It was Mark Downey. Just hilarious. I don't know. I'd love to find that sketch if someone could find it. How old would soccer be?
Who invented soccer?
Who invented it?
The Greeks? The Italians? Surely it's European. Surely
it's got to be European. I don't know.
I mean, the good thing about soccer, you just need a ball. You don't need a cricket bat and
probably
a ball.
Would have started with some sort of bladder. I reckon.
Oh.
They'd probably blown up a sheep's bladder or something and kicked that around for a while.
Yeah,
that's how games start. And they go 2 sticks up there, 2 sticks down there.
Did you get into the Matildas when they were playing?
Yeah,
that was great. I watched that. Was great.
I was no. Then on that famous night. We went to a restaurant, and it was great because the whole restaurant came together. I looked around the restaurant and thought, these people aren't interested. And then I looked a bit later on, and everyone had the phones up.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, depending on who you were with, some phones were ahead of other phones.
Oh, yeah, so the cheering.
Yeah, so the whole room would go up at different times. Yeah, but it was great because we won that, didn't we? That there was one.
Yeah, then lost the last one. Yeah,
it was Yeah, it was great. So, soccer, 11 players per team.
Oh, is it?
11, I think. Yep. Can't touch the ball with your hands. Can only touch it with your feet. Can touch it with your head. You can touch it with any part of your body except for your
I think you do your chest. You can bump it.
I don't think you can use your arms.
No.
Yeah, but you can use your chest. You can use your forehead. You can use your... What else is there? I see they have something that I think AFL should bring in. They have the red and the yellow card.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yellow card's warning red is off your pop, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
I don't know why AFL doesn't have a send-off rule.
Yeah, there's some bad behaviour in AFL. Come on, AFL.
I don't know. And what would soccer be like?
Also, soccer does extra time.
Yeah, time
on.
It's
a good idea. Whereas AFL, they've had to replay grand finals.
Yeah, I know.
Because the siren says, "Oh no, that's it. It's all over."
Yeah,
it's stupid.
When you look at soccer, to me, it's a pure game. It's pure in that it's ball, grass, players. It's not compromised by tackling because I think tackling.
Oh, yes, tackling. Yeah,
takes away from really good play. I mean, some would argue that that's what makes the game because it's man versus man.
I can tell you that soccer's more popular with parents because of the lack of injuries.
Yeah, if I had young kids, I wouldn't let them play football.
AFL.
No, because you can kind of tackle. You can block in soccer.
Yeah.
Why can't we do that in AFL? And people are going, "Oh, you're an idiot, Glenn." But I wonder whether you could. I mean, then it's like touch football, I suppose.
Yeah, it is like touch football. You're right.
Because they're getting so many concussions and people they sling tackles and do you know the offside rule?
You got to have so many. Yeah. I don't know.
I think this is what my understanding.
Two or three people in between the opposition and the goal. Is that right?
Yeah, I think you can't have the ball chipped over an opposition player. And you've got no one. So if I chip it over and you've got no one to beat except for the goalie, you can't. That's offside.
No, that's offside.
So you got to. I think you have to be behind an opposition player when the ball comes to you. Then you can go ahead. I think that's.
How many of the Matildas could you name?
None. Oh, Sam
Kerr.
Yeah.
Mary Fowler.
Oh, gee, you're good.
Oh, who was the other one with the ponytail? God. Anyway,
thought of a show that everyone was yelling at the speaker. Ted Lasso.
Oh, yeah.
Is that soccer?
That's soccer. You're right, of course. We're idiots. Yes. That's a great show.
That's a great show. I've only seen the first series, but it's great.
Oh, I've only seen the ad, but it looks good. No, I've seen the whole thing. It's good. Yeah, it's good. We should speak to someone who knows more about soccer than us.
Who knows about soccer? Sam
Brooksy.
Does Pang know about soccer? No, he would.
No, you know who does? Ed Cavalier or Santo. I think I know Santo.
Well, that is so.
Ed is a soccer nut, and I know Santo is a complete soccer nut. You know better than me.
Yeah.
He came on a radio. We had a radio show once, and he came on and told that story how he ended up being the interpreter for the Italian team or something when he was a kid, when he was a teenager. He went to the press conference or something, and then ended up being their interpreter or some story.
I'm sure he's got great stories.
He would have been to World Cups.
I don't know. I wonder if he's more passionate about AFL or soccer.
Oh, no, soccer.
Would be soccer, wouldn't it?
He's mad Collingwood in AFL.
Mad Collingwood.
But I think if he had a choice, it'd be like Sophie's choice for him, it would be so. Well, let's ask him. What's he doing? You got his, I don't know his number. You got his number?
Well, I would have to ring his people, and they would supply me with a number, and we'd have to book him in because he's a very busy man. Well,
let's call him.
You want to call him?
Why not?
Okay.
Hello?
Is that Sato Chalaro?
Is that Dave O'Neill? That sounds like Dave O'Neill to me.
Yes, it's Dave O'Neill and Glenn Robinson. Don't say anything inappropriate because you're on our podcast, and I know we've caught you at an inopportune moment. Where are you?
Well, you know that I was going away, Glenn. I'm actually. So are we actually going on air? Are we?
We're actually. You're talking to our lovely fans who are very excited that we've rung you in reference to our topic, which is war and soccer. But what were we going to say?
Okay, I'm in Broome. I'm on Cable Beach, one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. That's so odd to get a phone call. I thought I saw Dave O'Neill, and I'm thinking, hang on, I read that wrongly. But here I am. I'm in remote Western Australia on one of the most beautiful beaches in the world.
Are you on a camel as we speak?
We saw the camels go last night.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering those camels, when they walk down the street, what they're thinking. Yeah, here we go again.
Will I get a fat guy? Will I get a skinny guy? Small Asian person, please, today.
Why am I wearing blue and the other guys are wearing red?
Yeah.
Sado, we do a podcast called Somehow Related. The two topics are war and soccer. And we thought, who better to talk to? It would be absolutely you. We just wanted to have a quick chat about soccer and what you love about it and so forth. If you want to have a crack at the answer, you can. We were trying to work out, do you know the origins of soccer?
We don't quite know. We presume people have played with balls for a long time. Jesus, I went all Benny Hill then. I think it's probably a South American one. I reckon it's probably South American.
I said European. There you go.
Yeah.
No, I reckon it's
Aztecs.
I think the Europeans had this rugby kind of game, like a real rough rugby kind of game. We're trying to get balls from one end to the other. But I think it was the South Americans that were literally using their feet to pass the ball to each other. Hence, I reckon that's why they're so flary. That's why they're so good at it. I reckon it's because it's in their DNA. It's in their telomeres.
Aztecs, Incas, probably. Yeah, right. You love soccer. Was your dad into soccer?
Yeah, no, he was. He was a bit of an administrator back in the 50s and 60s. Because migrants had come out here, and that was their way of sticking together. You know, as a way of being community-minded. You know, they all stuck in their own little ethnic enclaves.
Yeah.
So my dad was part of the Juventus enclave. That was the Italian. So I played from a little kid. I got to tell you, my ability to play soccer is inverse proportional how passionate I am for it. So I love it. I was never that great at it. I mean, I kept playing till I was in my 50s. It goes back a long way.
I remember when we spoke to you on a radio show we did, you ended up being the interpreter for the Italian team when they toured or something.
Man, apologies to anybody who's heard this story before. I often force them to tell it, but I do love telling it. I was at uni back in the early days, and I was going to my two aunties' places, Auntie Rosa and Aunt Maria, and they made pizzas for me. Like every couple of weeks they would make pizzas, and I would then bring them back to uni and share them with some friends.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad telling me that the Juventus soccer team it was 1984, so they were at the Park Royal Motel opposite Optus Oval. People in Melbourne might know it. It's where the Carlton Footy Club used to play. And I remember there was a press conference there, and it was a star-studded team. It had half of the World Cup winning side from Italy from 2 years before. So it was an incredible side, truly amazing. And I walked in there, because I said, that's your press conference. So I might see if I can spot a couple of the players, that kind of thing. And I remember just as it was about to start, there was, I want to say it was Drew Morford. It was someone who said, who was like a sports commentator, who said, who's going to be the translator for the press conference? And I remember that the coach, Giovanni Trapattoni, said, no problem. I speak English. I do the translation myself. And I'm thinking, here's a problem. So the first question was, so Mr. Trapattoni, what do you reckon the boys? Do you reckon they'll do well over the competition? And so he's staring. He's got no idea what's going on. So I just put up my hand and I said, look, he just said this. So I started translating. Before I knew it, they put me up on the podium to do all the translation for the entire press conference. There's footage there's ABC footage of this. Someone sent it to me. There's actually footage of this. So I spent the rest of the 2 weeks traveling around with with this Juve soccer team, being there in air quotes, translator. My job basically involved holding on to the players' wedding rings every night. My job is to hold on their wedding rings with different names tied to them all. So it was just outrageous.
How old were you?
So I would have been in my very early 20s.
What a joy.
That's a movie. Anyway.
Have you got any idea what this connection between soccer and war is?
I think there's been a couple of examples. There was a pretty famous one going up to the 1970s World Cup in Mexico City. They may have called it the Football Civil War or the Soccer War or something like that. It was between either Panama or Honduras. I reckon it's Honduras and El Salvador. You guys haven't heard about this?
No, I don't know.
There were tensions between the two countries. I think that there was a lot of refugees heading over from El Salvador into Honduras, which is a much bigger country. But what happened, it was all sparked off in the qualifications for the 1970 World Cup, where there was El Salvador was in the same group as Honduras, and they played one of the qualifiers in Honduras, which Honduras won 1-0. Terrible riots at the end of that game. And then there was the return in El Salvador, which they won 3-0. And there was even bigger riots after that. And it started a full-on war because the tensions were already there. And it became war. It became, in fact, I think they signed a treaty for it in about 1980 or something.
Oh, wow.
Major war. So it was actually called, I think it was either called the Football War or the Soccer War or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
My favourite war story, I think it probably goes back to that same year. Jack Riley, he was the Australian goalkeeper in 1974 when Australia first qualified for a World Cup. He told me the story on a Santo Ed podcast. He said that they were doing a qualifier against South Vietnam when the Vietnam War was actually on.
What?
Yeah, no, it was actually on. So it was either 1973 or 1969. It was a lead up to either the 1970 World Cup or the 74 World Cup. And Jack says that, and the war was still on. It was in Saigon, but because they loved their soccer so much, there was like a truce. They promised that they wouldn't bomb during the game. So what happened is Jack said he was walking towards the penalty area, right? And he said that there was it looked like there was a television reporter who was still on the field with a bit of a backpack and a microphone who was still walking around. As he got closer, he realized, hey, that's not a radio transmitter or whatever, or a microphone. It was a minesweeper. They were actually sweeping for mines in his penalty area. In his penalty area. They were sweeping for mines in his penalty area.
Oh, wow.
That's a bomb of a shot. No, it's an actual bomb.
Oh, wow. It's incredible.
Well, amazing.
I think we're learning stuff. And I said before, if you chose between, I know you're a massive Magpies fan of the AFL. If you had to choose between AFL and soccer, like a Sophie's choice, I always got the vibe it would be soccer, but is that too hard for you to say, or?
That's way too hard. You'd have to. I don't know what I would do because I love my World Cup soccer. I love my international soccer, but I'll never forget I came back from a World Cup. It was 1998, and straight to a Collingwood-Essendon game. It wasn't even an Anzac Day game, and there were about 92,000 people there, and people were saying to me, "Oh, mate, you went to a World Cup last week. How good was it? Was it amazing?" And I said, "Mate, look at this. This is a home and away game. There's 92,000 people in the world's greatest stadium." So, there's a lot to be said about AFL. I love it. I love it.
Well, we'll say cricket then. You get rid of cricket.
Yeah, I'm a big hockey man.
Yeah.
We'll let you go, but just quickly, I was in at Working Dog the other day, and we were reminiscing about when Russell. Speaking of camels, when Russell Court got shat on by a camel, and then you went into a very long description of. Remember, because you had to pan away to make it seem logical, because we had the guy throwing the shit. Just remember that. What did you do? You panned because Sando shot
was the cameraman.
Sando was the cameraman for Russell Court. It was a pan away, wasn't it? Didn't you do a little fake move or something?
No, it wasn't a fake move. It's the conversation, Glenn, we always have. So the conversation is over with Tom, the director, about, Tom, are you sure this is safe? And Tom would actually, by the time you finish your sentence, he's already done the stunt to prove that it's safe.
Oh, yeah.
So he did that. Or it's either me saying, okay, so here we go. We need Russell shat on by a camel, okay? But it's going to be too obvious if you just have him at the back of the camel. It'll be obvious that someone's just thrown it. So we've got to start at the front of the camel to prove that there's no one behind the camel. So by the time he gets to the back of the camel, people don't expect there to, and it's these conversations that I reckon that conversation was 45 minutes long.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, wow.
I loved it. I just loved those conversations, making it work, being pissed on, being shat on.
You still do that on the weekend sometimes, don't you? Go to the Werribee Open Park Zoo and.
Sando, can't thank you enough. Have a wonderful holiday, and look forward to seeing you soon and on the many shows that we are looking forward to.
Yeah, and I know people always enjoy your work.
And hilarious on the front bar.
And going way back to Wayne from St Albans.
Yeah, Wayne from St Albans.
That would have been the 80s, late 80s, you reckon? When you used to bring
it was late 80s. I could mispronounce it. It's Wayne from Smallman.
That's it.
SNORBANS.
And he was always trying to get prizes, wasn't he? That was his thing, wasn't it?
He's always trying to get a prize. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I love it.
One of the great characters.
One of the greats. Hey, thanks, Sando.
Thanks, Sando.
It's a pleasure, boys. See ya.
War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
Say it again.
War.
Great. Who was that?
Frankie Goes to Hollywood. But it's a cover from the 60s. It's a protest song, I think.
Because I was driving down Toorak Road in Melbourne, and a friend from the gym.
Oh, yeah. You go to the gym, you go to the weight room. Spot me, Glenn.
Had a convertible...
midlife crisis.
Convertible Mercedes.
Oh, God.
This is back in the 80s.
Oh, okay. Right.
It's a long time ago. And he took me down Toorak Road.
Which was going off in the 80s.
Oh, in the 80s. Yeah. It was blonde tips. It was
people walking around.
Yeah, collars up,
jumpers around the shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. Pastels.
Boat shoes.
And then we were listening to War. What is it? No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. Was it Frankie Goes to Hollywood? Was it not? Relax, don't do
relax.
it.
Are they the same people?
Yeah, same people.
Relax,
don't do it. When you want to come home.
Do you imagine how cool we look with the wind blowing out our hairs? Man, we would look fantastic, I reckon.
It would have been great.
So, sorry, that was Relax. And War, Frankie Goes to Hollywood. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. We've talked about War before a bit.
What's their other big song? Two Tribes. Two Tribes Go to War. And they had a ballad.
Gee, you're good. What year? Okay, let's just get right back. Clean down the blackboard. You're a teacher. I'm a teacher. It's a whiteboard or blackboard?
Whiteboard these days. Blackboard in our day.
Wipe it all down. I'm going to write war on the top of it.
War.
And then put your hands up.
You can name some.
Well, just say what war is for a start.
Okay.
What is it? It's a conflict between...
Two countries, normally.
Two countries?
Yeah, I think it's two countries.
States? Civil war?
Yeah, civil war. Yeah, you're right.
Societies? Yes. It's fought by soldiers, mercenaries, insurgents.
Yeah. And
they fight for... the belief of the government or the religion.
Religion's often the... Look at the cause. I remember doing the causes of World War II. No, World War One. The cause of World War One is quite complicated. There was all this build-up.
I don't know that.
Archduke Ferdinand got shot. But there was all this... Germany was building up all their weapons and stuff and threatening countries. Whereas World War II, Hitler invaded Poland. And that was and then the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor and the Americans
and it was on.
Involved.
And then, as I said before, worth seeing on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, I've been watching that.
It's good. It's in colour. It really actually works in colour.
I tell you what I did see the other day at the movies was Civil War. There's a new one about an American Civil War happening at the moment, with like a Trump-like president, and the states divide and they fight each other.
So it's a science fiction.
Yeah, it's no good, though.
It's no good?
Well, it kind of tries to be arty. But it's incredibly violent, disturbing, and then boring because it's about an older photojournalist and a younger, photographers.
Yeah.
And it's just like, those scenes where the young woman sits with the older woman and goes, "What made you want to become a photojournalist? Oh, don't you know my story? No, I don't. I've got 10 minutes. My film's developing. Well, I suppose I can tell you. I grew up on a farm. Oh, I grew up on a farm too. You're like, for fuck. I don't give a stuff about journalists. Yeah. Honestly, their story.
Yeah.
And they just kept getting in the way of the soldiers shooting each other.
Yeah.
I don't, honestly. And then they try to be arty, but with horrific scenes.
They're trying to be worthy by the sound.
Yeah, so when the young girl falls in a mass grave, she's with all these dead bodies, and then they do the big shot. I thought it'd be great. Anyway,
were they real dead bodies? Were they rubber dead bodies? Or real?
I think they're real people. Actually,
it's a good gig. What are you doing Thursday? Want to be a multi-dead body in a grave?
Yeah, I don't recommend that movie.
Get a free lunch. Don't recommend it. Has there been war? Is there always war?
Yes.
Through history? Is there ever a time when there wasn't? No. I mean, even the cavemen would be fighting with the cavemen at over number.
At the current time, they reckon there's currently, over this fact, there's like 50 wars going on in the world that you don't even know about. There's 50 wars. So there's a lot of wars in Africa. There's Eritrea. There's wars going on. Like, there's insurgents too. So, the Congo. There's all sorts of things going on.
I don't understand. The one that at the moment with Israel and Gaza.
Oh,
I mean, that goes way back in time, doesn't it? It's horrific. Yeah. I mean, I know before World War II, there was a certain romance about going to war,
Well, yeah. So
and then they get there and they go, "Holy fuck! What a big mistake."
The way they got young guys to go to World War I in Australia, they used to have like a what was it? Some kind of they'd have a band going around Western Australia, and people marching, and they go to all these farming communities. Young blokes would just leave their farm and join the march, and then they'd all march into Perth with a band because they go, we get to go overseas and travel and all that stuff. And then they end up in Egypt and then just, on the battlefields, and it's horrific.
And for fear of getting a white feather in you.
Being called a coward.
Coward wouldn't think anything worse.
So, they used to just join these marches and then the romance.
War is over land, over
often.
Religion, over
politics. Values.
Yep.
Well, look at the Civil War in America. The first, not the movie, but it was like slavery and stuff was a factor.
Funny because with our upbringing, you sort of think, well, we're the West, we're the good guys, and then you watch that, and you go, we weren't totally the good guys.
Not always the good guys.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm very proud to call myself an Australian, and we did a good thing, but it's just like the bombing of Hiroshima and
awful, awful.
And there's a new
the
series.
Bombing in Vietnam.
Awful, just awful. Now, what is that song by John Lennon? Is it Imagine?
Imagine.
No. Is there anything about? Is that about war? No, that's just Imagine.
He's got one about war.
Has he?
He's got one about war.
Are there one other? What's?
I Was Only 19 by Redgum.
Yeah.
God help me.
That's a great song.
I was only 19.
Imagine 19.
Yeah.
I mean 19.
Yeah.
And you're going off to face that.
Well, was your dad? My dad was in Vietnam, but he was 31.
My dad was in Darwin.
Oh, God, he's in Darwin when it got bombed.
I don't know. He never talked about that.
My dad's granddad went to World War One. World War One, lived in a tent in the backyard after. He was so traumatised.
Yeah.
Then, at the age of 40, so he went when he was a really young man, right? Whatever. And then he, at the age of 40, signed up for World War Two, just for the infantry.
Yeah.
He went to World War Two as well.
Yeah. What a legend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Some would say stupid. But
well,
anyway, back in those days.
We're always fighting. And, you can have wars within a street. You can have war with your neighbours.
Oh, that's like the Yugoslav war. That was awful. The neighbours were fighting against neighbours. The Croats versus the Serbs and the Bosnians. Yeah, it was still awful.
And I wonder what you wonder what war will be, because in the future, i.e., will it be in terms of land? I reckon they'll fight wars in terms of water.
Oh, mate. What are you, Kevin Costner? That's Waterworld.
Is that? Oh, is it?
Yeah. Or petrol, which is Mad Max.
Right.
Yeah, they're fighting over petrol. Yeah, water will be a big resource. Big resource worth fighting for.
Yeah.
Because oil will start to lose its significance, I reckon.
Yeah.
With sustainables. So you're going to have, wars over water.
There will never be world peace.
Nah.
I reckon what will happen is here's the movie. Write this down.
Yeah.
We get to world peace. The first bit of it is we get to world peace. And everyone goes, we done?
There is peace in this world.
Are we done with the fighting? Yeah, we're done. Do we like each other? Give me a hug. Come over here. Then we will be attacked by aliens.
Oh, yeah, the aliens that's the next war.
Then we'll have to come together as Earthlings to fight the Martians.
I don't know if they'll be from Mars. They'll be from somewhere, though.
And I reckon they could be a few years behind us or a few years ahead of us. I reckon they're probably a few years behind us. They're probably, because aliens are always meant to be advanced. What if they're not advanced? Mind you, they'd have to get here.
They'd have to be advanced to get here, surely.
Yeah.
Did your dad march in the parades and all that?
No, he didn't.
No, my dad did.
No.
My dad did.
I think I used to wear his medals to Anzac Day when I was at school.
Yeah. My dad seemed to be getting more medals every year. I don't know. I think he was buying them on eBay. And I don't remember you fighting for the Panzer Division, Kev. Best cake, CWA, Bendigo. That's a good one. No, he the thing that used to not make us laugh, but there was always those guys that did that. What they call in America fake valor, where they faked that they were a war veteran.
Oh no!
And they'd march and they were involved in the RSLs. And when they were in the paper, Dad would always go, "What's this, Keith? So and so of Ferntree Gully? Oh, I bloody used to march. No, Keith, I used to march with him." It's like he's a fake veteran. So imagine doing that, faking that.
Thank you for your service. That's what you got to say. Yeah. I don't know what else we can say about war in general.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Bad. And it's going to get the weapons are getting more advanced, like landmines. They're just
what they is said to have happened with the election. The American election, what the Russians did. It's going to be sci-fi, bloody internet destruction. around the world.
If they can hack like the power grid and take out the power and stuff like that, that's like a war. That's like a war act.
So the Russians are probably have heard us say war right now.
They're listening.
They're listening in right now.
Hello.
And Putin.
Hello, Boris.
Yeah.
Vlad.
Lighten up, you know.
And probably the Chinese are on board now too.
Yeah, they know.
Hello.
They welcome aboard. Bring it all together.
Yeah, we need more subscribers. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Leave a review. This podcast very not good.
Not good.
Not
this
good.
Podcast.
Oh, your Russian's good.
Yeah. Vladimir.
I will kill you.
Yeah. Should we have some thinking music?
Yeah, what are we going to have?
Well, we could have...
One of my favourite quotes from a movie is, what's that movie where the toys come alive and they fight each other?
Toy Story? No.
No, it's like... And the guy... Who was that? Oh, this is terrible. Who was the guy who passed away? He was on Saturday Night Live. Not Hank. He's great.
Oh, he got a great voice.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Killed by his wife.
Yeah, he shot him. Yeah. Yeah, I won't remember his name.
It's a great movie. These little toy soldiers come alive, but he's watching he's like the dad in the movie. He's watching a war movie, and he goes to his wife, "Yeah, I think World War II is my favourite war." That's so funny. I always say it to my kids if they're ever watching a war movie. I think World War II is my favourite war.
Yeah,
I've had a noble moment. What's his name?
Do you want me to look it up? We shouldn't.
Sam can help us.
Yeah.
And while you're at it, what's the soccer movie set in the war zone where they try to escape?
You nearly had it. It's actor Phil Hartman, and the movie is Small Soldiers. The other film you're thinking of is a soccer film called Escape to Victory.
Oh, wow. That's good. So
there you go.
Ross Noble won't have fallen off his tractor.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. Gosh, it's good.
So what thinking music should we play?
I don't know. I mean, I like it when they do the chants at the soccer. I think we've had those before. Is there anything... what about something from Gallipoli?
Oh, yeah.
Or...
What are your legs?
Oh, yeah.
Spring stills or whatever.
Yeah. You can run like a... Yeah. What about because I was talking earlier about Beckham and that documentary series that he did on Netflix that I thoroughly enjoyed. They were interviewing his wife, and she was talking about getting taken to school, and he interrupts.
Because she kept saying she was from a poor background.
Yeah. And he goes, "No, tell the truth. Tell the truth." I should tell you my David Beckham after the...
that'll be a big out thing. That'll be the big out clause.
I met David Beckham and I spent a bit of time with him.
What?
Yeah.
All right.
No, sorry. Haven't said this for a while. He spent a bit of time with me.
Yeah.
He got to spend a bit of time with me.
Yeah, he loved it.
Yeah. Anyway, David Beckham and Posh.
Yeah, Posh Spice. Victoria.
Yeah.
Here they go.
We're very working class.
Be honest.
I am being honest. I am being honest.
What car did your dad drive you to school in?
So my dad did...
No, one answer.
My dad...
What car was it?
Alright, it's not a simple answer
what
because...
What did you get your dad to drive
It
you
depends.
To school in? No.
Okay,
What
in the
car?
80s my dad had a Rolls Royce.
Thank you.
All right, what's your guess, Glenn?
Well, can we have a guess? I mean, Sando's given us gold.
Is he right?
You're saying he might not be right.
I don't know. I'll just say that I think the first war started because of a soccer match or something. The first ever war.
Okay, you're going to say the first war
started by a soccer match, and you're going to go with Santo?
Oh, yeah, can you go against Santo? If he knows about camels shitting on
Russell Court.
How to shoot Russell Court, then he knows about soccer.
What is the answer, Sam?
Santo Neward. The Football War, also known as the Soccer War or the 100 Hours War, was a brief military conflict fought between El Salvador and Honduras in 1969.
Ah, he was right.
Yeah,
Santo.
Of course he was.
There we
Absolutely.
go. What a genius.
I remember the term, the Soccer War. I remember that terminology.
You have been listening to Somehow Related with Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
Now, David Beckham.
Oh, yes. Okay, David Beckham. I was doing a radio show with Andy Lee on the radio, Breakfast, and I had always talked about the fact that I was a pretty good masseuse.
Oh, yeah.
And I always talk about the fact that when I do give people... When you go and get a rub at a shopping centre, their finishing move is not strong. You know when because the finishing move is choppity chop.
Yeah.
And you go, that's not working for me.
No.
And I maintain I have the most incredible finishing move. Do you want me to tell what the move is? I won't do it on you. It's a bit weird.
What is the move?
The move is you massage your shoulders, massage your shoulders, massage your shoulders. Then the finishing move, you go down the arms, and then what do you call that bit of your arm there?
The wrist. Like near the wrist, the
you
forearm.
You go on the inside of the arm, from the
forearm.
elbow, bend of the elbow, right down to the wrist, and then you push them in the hands.
Oh.
And it's the best finishing move. Anyway, so we were scheduled to go and speak with David Beckham to have him on the show. And Andy Lee says, oh, by the way, Glenn has the ultimate finishing move. Would you like him to try it on you, David Beckham?
So you're in a hotel room with him?
Yeah. And he goes, oh, yeah, I'll give that a go.
Oh, yeah.
And then I did it. Feels good. Then I went down the arms, went down the elbows, got to his wrist, did his hands. He went, oh, that's all right, isn't it? That's all right. Quite like that. It's good. He was a delight.
Yeah, right.
Absolute delight. But then we stopped recording, and I reached around.
Oh, there we go. And now when he watches Kath and Kim, he goes to Posh, that bloke there gave me happy ending one day. Oh.